All right, they are walking to the gate. So, hi, this is Josh from Mongrel. Let me introduce. Okay, Brian. Hey, Brian, how you doing? Oh, great, great. Oh, that is okay. Hey, Mark. Hey, nice to see you. Okay, hey, we're loading into the gate. We got 3 tickets here. I'm playing a pick 5. I'm signaling the 5 here in this first leg here at Canterbury. Brian's got 5, 6. Mark 4, 5, 6. So as usual, Mark has got the most horses covered out of all of us. But yeah, we're gonna play a little bit. We're gonna play some Canterbury live. We're gonna talk some Belmont. We all love playing the Canterbury pick 5 because of the low takeout, and we just got lucky enough that they're loading into the gate right now. So we got to place our tickets here. We got to play along and not get completely demolished by the rake. Although Canterbury does have a nice 10% pick 4. I believe to start the card. Their late pick 4 though is normal takeout.
Dude,
they did a stagger thing there? That sucks.
Yeah, you scared the crap out of me when you started, by the way, Josh. No more unicorn lattes from Starbucks for you, mister.
Hey, I was trying to get Mark's like, or you or Mark, I forgot who it was, like, hey, we gotta go. And so I went.
Dude, I'm impressed. I didn't realize you could talk that fast. That was good. It was
he's like he's like the guy from the Micro Machine commercials from the late 80s, early 90s.
Oh God.
Yeah. I mean, normally Josh takes like 10 minutes to stammer around and talk about a horse and kind of wander around his brain. That was like boom, 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 boom. I like it. It's good.
Look at man, Nick Feldman coming in hot. He hit the early pick 5 at Churchill for $2 and with 3 singles made the weekend.
Whoa, we're not the same person because Nick actually does play Churchill.
Hold on, Jared. There's no way.
Oh, get out of here.
Get out of here, Jared Feldman.
So they open the gates here. It looks like the 3 and the 6 there going for the lead.
3 and the 6 going for the lead. 3 on the inside. 6 somewhat blew the corner. Yeah.
Yeah, I singled the 5 here because the 5 seemed to be the only horse with any kind of turf pedigree.
Dude, your 5 is sitting a trip.
Yeah, and he I don't know. Kelsey is aboard, and Kelsey is sitting a nice trip here. And yeah, it was just like one of those things where I liked the horse, and I didn't want to go like 4 deep in this race and use the 5-2 favorite. So I just kind of, like I said, plugged my nose. I picked the favorite here. Looked to be the only horse with turf pedigree, so they're going pretty honest for Canterbury turf, I think. Yeah.
Come with it, Chirinos.
Who's Chirinos on the 6?
The 6.
All right.
I mean, your 5 is the only horse in the field with turf pedigree. Your 5 should win this, but
the 3's not giving up here,
this
fellas.
3 is not going to stop.
Nope.
Wow, and we're all going to be dead first leg.
Yep. 3's going to go wire to wire, huh?
Wow. I did not in a million years think that 3 was going to wire.
Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Thanks
we
for
are
tuning in,
on
guys.
the
Have a nice night. We're out here.
All right. Happy Thursday, everybody. It's Josh here with On the Wrong Lead. We are going to talk late pick 4 at Canterbury. Definitely not the late pick 5 that just went off. We did not play the late pick 5. Mark, how glad are you that you did not play that late pick 5?
I am really glad I didn't play the late pick 5 because no way in the world do I ever come up with that 3. Just no way. So I skipped it because I thought it was a terrible race, and we're just playing late pick 4. Yeah.
Brian, how good does it feel to be able to play the late pick 4 here at Canterbury Park?
I don't understand what happened to Justice Warrior. I can't.
Oh man, that was rough, man. let me go ahead and
I can't even make the argument for the lightest jockey won because that was the fattest jockey in the field at 124. So there goes that theory. This just blows up Twitter.
So you're gonna just start betting fat jockeys now.
Whoa. You gotta be careful. Gotta be careful there. They're sensitive. They're sensitive.
Yeah, this is. I mean, one of them is especially sensitive. I've heard rumor that one of them is very sensitive.
Oh, you went straight to Belmont.
Oh well, we're gonna take a look at this freaking race here. What was that, race 5?
Oh man.
Was the E2? I don't know.
I'll tell you what. The notes from optics on that one, first time out at Tampa Turf, rank with no keep. I mean, if you can't run on Tampa Turf, you're not. I mean, apparently Minnesota Turf sucks too.
I will tell you though, horses don't wire at Tampa on the turf. So if your takeaway was this is a lesser race, and I don't honestly know the turf here at Canterbury. If wiring is more of a possibility, maybe you can kind of draw lines through all those. But man, there was no turf pedigree there to speak of at all. So that was a hard one to get to for me. A hard one.
Here you go, Brian. You see, highest rated based off of Briz speed. Easy game.
And for the record, Mark, just so you know, Minnesota grass is mostly ryegrass with a mix of big blue stem and some Kentucky bluegrass.
Some reason I'm not surprised that you know this.
Google, man. You could Google Minnesota popular. Google Minnesota popular grass. Go ahead. What's the most common grass in Minnesota? Kentucky bluegrass. So I mean, that's a black type horse right there.
Stephen Fox commenting that we're not as ugly when Caleb's not here.
Oh yeah, they say Kentucky bluegrass. Okay, so the Kentucky bred obviously wins. Yeah, okay.
Is a bully. He's a bully.
I mean, he is.
He's just mean. He's the worst.
And I just want to point out that he hopped on, made a derogatory comment, and then instantly logged on to Lost Ark. So let that not be lost on us. I saw that.
Hold on. So he popped on, made a bad comment, and popped right back off. Is he running for Republican office?
Ooh.
Bam.
So is he catching a flight to Mexico tomorrow? No.
I missed that one. I was hoping Josh knew what you were talking about.
I believe he's talking about Ted Cruz.
Cancun. Oh, okay.
Cancun, right. Mexico.
Yeah, but we are not going to touch any political topics because man, has it been a month for any kind of topic. So we're going to stick to racing here. $18 winner. Start off your pick 5 here at Canterbury. So good luck to those that did have it. We did not. Unfortunately, and I'm circling things on the PPs and making.
We're all idiots and use the fake Baffert. So,
I mean,
I'm trying to look here. I'm looking at Optics Grid right here for that horse, and they're holy crap. I mean, the horses went on turf everywhere. You know, it's interesting. Gulfstream Park turf couldn't really do it. I mean, that horse tried to win everywhere. Class alone, if class mattered, that horse probably would have been a play.
Well, we'll catch back up with Canterbury here in a couple minutes. But yeah, we were going to look a little bit at Belmont. I actually really wanted to look ahead at Monday's card at Santa Anita because it looks pretty loaded from a stakes perspective. Unfortunately, we don't have entries yet, so. No real idea what we're gonna have then. We had kind of maybe kicked around, maybe running an additional stream this weekend because Monday does have a ton of stakes racing, but don't think that's gonna happen this weekend. But we figured, hey, we'll play some Canterbury and we'll take a look at some of these Belmont races. Mark does like playing some Belmont. He used to. Now, for you guys who don't know, if you're new. Mark used to be a one-track guy. He only used to play Saratoga. Brian, can you please list the tracks that we have now gotten Mark to play in D-Gen order, please?
Oh, worst D-Gen first?
Yes.
Okay, Astonobia Downs.
Okay.
It's worse than Delta Downs?
Yes. You know why? Delta Downs, Carl Broberg's like 45%. You can play Delta Downs.
Just bet the Brobergs, yeah.
there have actually been horses that have come out of Delta Downs to be good horses, such as Old Homestead kind of threw a stinker last out. But who was the other speed horse ended up winning the King's Bishop?
Are you talking?
2-3 years ago. It was a Tom Amos horse. I'll wait for Road Warrior to.
I miss John Massey.
Oh, John
Yeah,
Massey too.
yeah.
Yeah, holy
John
cow.
Massey.
John Massey would know right away, but
We just have Stephen Fox out there. I don't know what this means, but he said dragon. Does that mean anything to anybody?
it means do not listen to whatever he's going to say after that. Oh, look at Jay's talking about some Crown and Coke here. I actually went with the old standby here, Buffalo Trace.
Huh.
But I just didn't. What do you got there, Bowmore?
Bowmore, a little Bowmore 15,
Nice,
which is
Brian.
let's go to.
What are you drinking over there, Brian?
I've got a 6-month Diet Coke,
Nice.
bottled in Kansas. Nice. Aged in a barrel of sugar and cancer for 7 months. Pretty excited.
Now I got to look up freaking Tom Amos and his top horses.
King's Bishop, really?
I thought it won the King's Bishop.
Tom Amos. Nice jockey. OG.
Top horses.
Okay, so you get Jackie's Order, Echo Town, Mind Control, Promises Fulfilled, Practical Joke.
Oh, maybe he did win a King's Bishop. What horse did? What race did he win?
I don't see any of them being a Tom.
The floor recognizes.
No parole. What he won the Woody Stevens. Won the Woody Stevens. Sorry.
No parole. He ran at Delta? No way.
Yeah.
Oh,
No parole. Okay. I think broke his maiden at Delta.
Cool.
Why did I think he won? Right. Oh wait. Yeah. Well, won a Louisiana bred at Delta. Oh yeah. Yeah. Won a couple Louisiana breds at Delta.
Jay dropping the truth. Gunrunner did win a race at Delta. I forgot about that.
Oh, there you go.
See, good horses come through Delta. It's a classy track.
Yeah.
Exactly.
See, dude, Road Warrior. See, like this is what we need. Man, where the hell is John Massey when you need him?
I know, really.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're talking about two nicer tracks right now in Canterbury and.
Well, he doesn't play Charlestown.
He doesn't? Are you sure?
He only plays Indiana Grand when it's wet. I mean, I'm sorry. Take that out. Hoosier, Indianapolis.
Horseshoe, Indianapolis.
Horseshoe, Indianapolis.
I'm going to call it.
Wait, are we talking about Mark or John Massey now?
I'm calling it Hoosier, Indianapolis, because, I mean, they don't pay me.
Honestly, they should. You're like the biggest fan.
I am a big fan. And you know, I thought it was funny yesterday, Andy Serling was bashing their morning lines. And, you know, as much hate as Bill Downs had, his morning lines were pretty good usually.
They've been pretty awful.
They've been pretty awful.
There's been some pretty awful.
Well, it's funny you said, because I believe Mr. Canterbury, Brian Aragoni, is doing it now.
Now they're not. Oh, I was gonna say they're not Keeneland bad, but they're pretty rough.
I think he's the one doing it, because I don't think Dooley's doing it. I think it's what is his Twitter handle, Mr. CBY something.
Yeah,
it's like,
Aragoni.
Yeah, Aragoni.
I mean, look it's a tough job, and I don't think anybody does it better than Aragona out in New York. And
Aragona's a very high standard.
So, you know, Andy's got a point, because he's used to you know, having somebody who does a really great job. But it's tough. I mean, like at Gulfstream, like they make the announcer. Why am I blanking?
Pete
they make
Aiello.
Pete. Yeah, they make Pete make the morning line. Like that's tough, man. So, but anyways, let's get on to some Belmont here. We got a full field here, and we got a bunch of MTOs. We're gonna be going a 1.16 on the turf, state bred allowance here. And Mark, what are we expecting torrential downpour here? Are we going to be off the turf?
We're really not. I've heard a couple podcasts that's kind of talked about a ton of rain, and they're calling for less than a tenth between Friday and Saturday. I think most of the weather is going to be a little bit more north up by me, and Belmont's not calling for a huge amount of weather. I'm expecting this to be on. I would be surprised unless there's a big change in the weather between now and Saturday if this comes off.
So how do you we talk about this all the time, especially with New York. So how do you? I know how you handicap for this, but I'm going to pretend like I don't. How do you handicap when you're looking at maybe a card the night before? You got all these MTOs, and maybe you're 50-50 on whether or not it's going to be on or off the turf.
If I was 50-50, I cap it both ways. I'm going to cap, my primary capping is going to assume that this stays on the surface, the intended surface, and that we're effectively, fast and firm, right? And then I'm going to cap a second set of handicapping for assuming it's off and sloppy, so that I have it both ways. And that way, I find it's a personal quirk, but I find that if I don't do that, I'm tend to go back to my original capping. So if I capped it for fast and firm and we're off and it's sloppy, I keep looking back to those horses that I liked before if I don't have that second set just to reference. And I honestly, at Saratoga, if there's even like a 5% chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon, I'll cap, the back half of the card, all the turf races for off the track, just because I want that mental, that fresh mental take on, oh, if this comes off, or we get rained off the primary surface.
What about you, Brian? You kind of do the same thing, or do you kind of fly by the seat of your pants a little bit?
Nope. I go straight to the MTOs.
When it comes off the turf, or you just plan on using them?
When it comes off the turf. Because usually there's one MTO that's a standout. And with either sloppy pedigree, or not pedigree, but yeah, we could say pedigree, like the Tommy figures or something, or a horse that is MTO that's one on slop that makes it obvious, and if you're trying to handicap the night before and you say, okay, there's 15 horses drawn in with 4 MTOs, if you were to ABC it, like if it's, oh, maybe it's soft grass, maybe it's not. No, it's either going to run the grass or it's going to be on the dirt. If it's a little yielding on the turf, it is what it is. I don't care. There may be a couple horses that have better quickening in deeper turf, but I mean, wing it, man. It's called gambling. It's not called analysis.
Yeah, honestly, before I started playing more horizontals, I was basically just, all right. I mean, I capped the race, 30 minutes to post. Now, I'm not necessarily like a night before guy all the time.
30 minutes to post. 30 minutes to post, Josh.
Well, I just meant like, hey,
you mean 30 seconds to post.
Once the race is over, I'm looking at the next race usually. But now I generally take I try to take a pass at the entire card, maybe half hour before the races start. And if I've already done the work at some point, I adjust a little bit. But it's tough. Like horizontals make it a little bit more difficult than if you're kind of going race by race. You can zig and zag a little bit. But yeah, I basically capped this race for on the turf. I kind of thought there was a lot of speed here. And I always hate saying that when we're talking about New York turf racing. But here I am saying there's a lot of speed in the New York turf race. And I'm kind of keying in on 2 horses that I think are going to be kind of coming from off the pace slightly or deep closing. I actually do really like the morning line favorite here at 7-2. The 2 Breadman here, obviously named after Chicago Blackhawks and New York Rangers player Artemi Panarin.
Your morning line favorites is the 5.
Is it 5? Really?
Yeah, Rally Squirrel's your morning line favorite.
Oh, 3-1. Okay, well, one of the short prices in here.
I remember my first time reading for him too, Josh. It's okay.
It's hard. Numbers are hard. They're really hard.
Look at where Nick Feldman saying that morning lines don't matter. All right. So
he's Nick Feldman is.
I mean, he is right.
He's right.
But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna go here. I like Breadman. I think that Breadman hasn't really seen any kind of significant pace in a while. And I think that his running style here is kind of. I think he needs a little bit of pace, a little bit of a setup. I think he's made up ground in all of his starts except for his dirt tries. and or at least he's made a little bit of progress. That last one, he made up a bit of ground there. Finished fourth, but was only a length and 3/4 back. Uncle Curly came back to win his next race out. So I think that kind of flatters him a little bit here. So I did like Breadman here. And I also like the 4 Lord Flintshire. This horse, I think, as Mark says, doesn't like to get his picture taken. But I think that if you look back at his races, when he gets some pace, he seems to run his best races. And I just think that this is a spot where he's going to get some pace. You get Jose Ortiz aboard, who, I think is a great judge of pace, and I think he's a great turf rider. And I think that this is going to set up nicely here for a closer like Lord Flintshire. So I'm going to key in mostly on this 2 and the 4. But Mark, I'm interested to see where you kind of went here.
Well, everybody knows where I went here, but I have a question for you before we go to where I obviously went in this race. If the jockeys were not the jockeys that they are on your 2 and your 4, would you have landed on those 2 horses? And the reason that I asked that is I think that, you're talking a 1 for 8 horse. You landed on a 1 for 8 and a 1 for 11 horse. And I'm not going to beat you up too much on that. They both do have a turf win. Their only win is on turf. So we're probably getting the right surface. But you're getting Flavien Prat and you're getting Jose Ortiz, who are both jocks that are going to take a lot of money in these spots. And do you really like the idea of taking those kind of horses that have kind of shown that neither one of them really wants to win? And it feels like you're betting jocks. I'm not. I don't want to beat you up too much. It's just what it sort of feels like.
This is an N1X. What? So are you going to go bait? What, you're going to bet the 3 Barley 1 because he's won 4 times? I don't know. Go ahead.
I'm gonna talk on top of you because I'm a jerk. Breadman could run in a N1X over 3 years and still be eligible.
Yeah,
his only win was maiden debut.
Yeah. I mean, not beating up Josh. I don't want to turn this into a beat up Josh session, but those 2 horses will be nowhere on any of my tickets. They are horses that I think will take money. I think they're effectively takeout reducers. I'm putting one of them right in the winner's circle for you, Josh. So you're welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I mean, everybody knows who I'm going to land on here as my top choice, and that's the 1 Spetro. Tom Morley, Javier Castellano, we know those are very, very high percentage connections. I bet them a lot of Saratoga. I think they are 31% together, $3.90 ROI, so they're connections that do not take money still, but you still get a very high win percentage. And, they have connected a couple times at Belmont already. This is a horse we haven't seen since December of last year, has every right to improve coming from that 2-year-old to that 3-year-old season. You're getting some older horses in here, but I think this is one that probably steps forward. And also with the pace that Josh is talking about, I think some of those outside horses clear. I don't know if the 1 can pass horses, but I'm getting 10-1 to figure out if the 1 can pass horses. And this is a horse that is 1 for 5 lifetime. It's a horse that I feel there's still potential upside. And in this kind of spot, I would much rather take that horse that does have upside than to take a horse that I think is probably just needs a lot softer spots, which is how I felt about Josh's 2 and his 4.
So you're taking a horse that only broke its maiden because Excursionist refuses to have a jockey.
Yes, that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm fine. I'm fine with that. No,
shout out to one of Excursionist owners, Joe, who was in the chat.
Yeah, and I also say, obviously Tom Morley claimed this horse out of a Monmouth race, out of the Durham Magyar barn for to move this horse to turf. And everyone knows Tom Morley knows that his best runners tend to be turf runners. That's where he's had most of his success, and he does a very good job of claiming horses out of bigger barns that probably need a surface change and moving them to the proper surface. And so, if you look at coming out of that maiden claim, look at the next start in that maiden 50 on the turf. Major step forward, and then they went to an open 70 where it broke its maiden at the duct in turf duct at the beginning of December. So I think this horse has a ton of upside, and I'm very, very interested. I will be probably keying around this horse quite aggressively.
Now, Mark, real quick, would you say that our viewers are much smarter than we are?
I mean, for the most part, I mean, yes.
Okay, let me So Road Warrior says nothing jumped off the page, but we'll probably go with Lord Flintshire. Jay, Lord Flintshire and the 9, all you need in this race. Nick Feldman, Lord Flintshire has a really good third race 3-back top pick. Thank you. So just remember, if you guys need Mark's address for to send a gift after the wheelbarrows and money we're going to win when Lord Flintshire wins after he put him in the winner's circle, just DM me on Twitter. I will send you his address. He likes whiskey, disc golf discs, anything for the apiarial sciences for beekeeping. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you're basing your picks on this horse on a 3-back allowance 50 at Belmont, where the horse is beaten by 4th by 2 lengths, I mean, sure, you do you, but coming back at the same level again and again and again and again and again and not seeing an improvement in results just isn't a horse for me. On a horse that a trainer's over 13, and a horse that probably takes money, and horses that are deep closers haven't been really doing well at turf routes at Belmont so far this meet. So maybe the track changes. That very well could happen. But again, not a horse for me.
Brian, who's a horse for you?
Well, Mark just jerked off Tom Morley, so I'm going to go somewhere else. Pretty excited about the Tom Morley horse, unfortunately. Mark, I knew Mark was going to love him, and I talked him up last night with Chase, and I think the horse made a lot of sense from a pace perspective. With Breadman next to the Spectro, I think Castellano's got a little bit of time if he needs it. My biggest question with Breadman is does Flavian try to steal this up front, because that's what Flavian does. And so I landed on Spectro, and then I'm just going to say I don't have the odds on in front of me. I'm against the 3 Barley One. I think Barley One will take a little bit of money, but I thought it was interesting. The horse is 4 for 5 lifetime at Belmont, but I have no interest on this horse. Leaving the O'Brien barn. It's just it's one of those horses that even with Irad, I know he's probably live and he'll be coming late. I just can't get there, but it seems like Barley One always is running at Belmont. When I look at, maybe it's just because it's a Midwest horse, and when he runs, it like brings back memories of having Starbucks last year outside Chicago in the northwest suburbs. But I don't know. It's just one of those things. Anyway, sorry, I'm rambling a little bit. I think Rally Squirrel is going to improve a little bit. I think nice effort last out for the Maker Barn, coming up from Gulfstream Park over the winter. He ran okay. Probably several levels below here on Saturday. But if you like Briz figures or Briz, this horse has late pace, early pace, late fraction, whatever you want to look at. The question I have is at what price do you get on this horse? What's the go, no go range? And I don't know if, I want this horse at a super short price. It's tough, man. The horse ran second at Belmont in April on the inner turf, same level, comes back again, and it's Joel though. And is he going to be okay early? Is he going to have problems with Castellano and Spectro inside? It's going to be a very, very interesting race. Probably a great betting race. Half the people in chat keep talking about Barrage, and I looked at Barrage for a long time, the 9. And makes a lot of sense. And the Ray Handle, I want to back this horse up. I just again, it's one of those horses that's unproven on a 6-month layoff, and it's Ray Handle and Dylan Davis.
Do you want anything out of the Gargan barn? Really? Like,
right? Well, that's it. I mean, first out Gargan, is that where you want to go? So you go from
no, yeah.
Right? And it's one of those things where Ray's not known as a turf trainer anyway, and Dylan Davis is not known as a turf jockey. So there's a lot of things against the 9 here, especially coming out of that hole with some speed inside. I think it's going to be interesting. Sorry, I had one bomb. I figured what's the price?
I have a bomb as well. So
what's the price on the 6? I don't have morning lines.
8-1.
I think it's a fair price. I thought this horse is more or less going to be a pace play for me. I think Kendrick's going to be well placed. on debut or first time trying turf at a mile and 16th, ran pretty well. Nothing crazy. Rally Squirrel was in that field, and it's one of those thought processes of a lot of times you'll see horses come back and they face somebody else and they fire back. And I think DePaz's barn. He's 33%. It's ridiculous. 15 starts, he's won 5 of them.
His barn has been absurd, as with Kendrick up as well. He's just
Right.
been cleaning house. Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I think if this horse is 5-1, 6-1, I think it's a great price on the 6.
Yeah, I know we're about to go into Canterbury. I did have a price I wanted to talk about afterwards, maybe, Josh.
Okay. Yeah, they're loading in the gate here, or they're walking towards the gate. Looks like Jay's got a pick 4 here. He's singling the 8 in leg 2, and he's kind of spreading around that with the 1, 2, 5, 7 over 8, over 2, 6, 7, over 4, 5, 6, 7 here. I'm running back my pick 4 here. So this is my pick 5 ticket. So I'm gonna be 2, 7 here.
I play back the last 4 of my pick 5, as one does when you get blown out first leg. So, the 2-5 over 3-8 over 2-3-6 over 2-3-5-6.
Hey, what am I missing here on the 2? Why is the 2 8-1? I thought the 2 was going to take money. 3-3, 7-2.
I agree with you, Brian. I agree with you.
I mean, this is almost a win bet territory on the 2.
This is, I think, for me, this is win bet. I 5-1, 6-1. I think is probably win bet on this too.
I mean, maybe they just don't like the Finer Park form, which is just a completely different track than Canterbury. This horse is 4 for 7 at Canterbury. So maybe they just think, hey, this horse shipping back. I might actually win bet this horse while they're loading in here.
That was exactly my logic here, Josh. Was the horse is 4 for 7 across this track? Seems like this is just a track he likes. And a pretty decent local connections as well.
I feel like we all just talked this horse into losing.
We just talked. This horse
I think we just destroyed it.
Dead last.
Nick Feldman singling the 7 here. He's got his pick 4 here.
To answer Saturday in chat, do you guys only do picks 5s and picks 6s? No, it's going to depend on which one of us is talking, but we tend to talk sequences, which cover a pick 5 or a pick 6. So we talk that framework, but you could very easily take the top 2 or 3 choices from us and key it around at an exacta or a trifecta and probably do pretty well. But we do tend to be a little more horizontally focused as there's a lot of interest in that. So. Oh, come on.
What the hell are you doing?
I don't know.
Well, this is all Nick Feldman's fault for telling us he was singling the 7. I don't like Nick anymore.
No, we don't like Nick anymore?
No.
Well, clearly I and Nick Feldman are not the same person because Nick Feldman is much smarter than I am.
I don't know. The 7 looks tired.
Yeah, but nobody's...
3's coming.
5 is too, but man, he's not going to get there.
Not going to get boomed by the 3 again? No. Okay.
Nope. 7. 12-1 morning line down to 2-1 when they go off. Okay. Clearly, I do not understand this track in even the least. So, way to go, Nick Feldman. Nice choice.
Nice hit, Jared.
Honestly, I like the 7 for the same exact reasons I like the 2. If you look back at his Canterbury form, the Canterbury races fit in, but Oaklawn and Delta did not, and was taking a huge class drop. So, well, not really that big of a class drop. I think state bred 12, 12.5 down to open 4. I mean, that's probably not. I mean, Archie bred 12.5 to open 4. I mean, that can't be that big of a class drop. So, but. No, Luis Fuentes moving the horse up and taking the win there. So good start for Nick. Jay also had it. Mark?
Guys, can we restart the stream for a second time?
Yeah, why not? Happy Thursday, everybody. It's Josh here with On the Wrong Lead. Nick Feldman. Look at this guy. Just got a single home to start the pick 4 as we go ahead and we're going to start capping this late pick 3 at Canterbury. Mark, how excited are you for this late pick 3 here at Canterbury?
I'm just super excited for this late pick 3. I this is what I live for.
Yep. Brian, we have not played any tickets before this. We are fresh, going for the late pick 3 here at Canterbury.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed. I thought we were gonna get on, a couple minutes sooner so I could single the 7 in that leg, but unfortunately we didn't. We were waiting for Caleb. Shout out, keep pounding Caleb, and here we are.
We have not shouted out Keep Pounding. There's a little shout out Keep Pounding.
Yes, Jay, they usually do suck. There's no doubt about it. And see, Jay, if you've watched enough, usually when I get to pick, all the good horses are taken already.
Dude, all I know,
Mark gets 4, Mark gets 4, maybe 5. Josh takes 2. Caleb takes the other 2, and then there's like 1 left. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll take the Broberg facing all the Baffords at Santa Anita.
See, Jay, if you were smart, you would just take every horse that Brian loves and toss it off your tickets, and then Brian is the takeout reducer.
And take every horse Mark says is a single A and toss that bastard too.
And just wait for my B's on those legs.
Yeah. And if it's a single A, you use his B's. If it's like a single B, you also use the B. But
there's a system. Hey, before we hop on, sorry, Josh, to make you go back to the to race 7 that we never covered because that would mean that we were on before and it would get super confusing. Nick Feldman and I once again are the same person. The 10 horse in this race, the man.
No, you're not. He's cashing tickets in Minnesota.
Okay, he is cashing tickets in Minnesota, and I apparently cannot cash a ticket in Minnesota. I thought this horse was really interesting. This is one of those horses that does get super lost on the board here. You're getting Manny Franco, who is much crap as I give Manny. He is winning at 24% this Belmont meet. He is riding lights out. You're getting Lacey Gaudet, who takes and. Really? Laughing that hard, right? I know it's Manny.
You just gave Josh all kinds of shit for the horse he picked, and you take a horse that couldn't win on debut at Laurel, and then tries again at Laurel and wins, and now comes to Belmont. You owe Mr. Josh an apology for picking on it, Mr. Bread.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's ridiculous.
The horse doesn't have 27 starts with 1 win. That horse has 3 starts with 1 win. No, I mean, I think Lacey ships this again in New York bred, ships it back to New York. You're getting 21. You're getting a real hot jock at the moment up. You're getting a horse that actually has turf pedigree and potentially has some more upside. This is a horse we haven't seen since his 2-year-old season. This is another one that has a lot of potential to move forward. Horse fires back to that like the October race at Laurel. That fits here. Doesn't need a huge step forward. Lacey could have kept campaigning this one on her home turf versus softer company, but saw it fit to ship this one to New York and drop it in an allowance. So, I thought the horse is one of those. I feel like there's a lot of horses in here that I know. This is one I don't really know, and maybe this one still has some upside. That's all.
For somebody who loves D-Gen tracks, you should play more Laurel. I'm just going to put that out there.
Should I?
Moving a horse out from Laurel. My God.
Hey, Brad,
you would have thought the horses I picked had 3 legs.
I don't even know who Mark is anymore.
You would have thought the horses I picked had 3 legs and had I don't even know who the bottom tier, Jose Gomez aboard or something. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, Mark's gonna watch the Hawthorne feed on Saturday and be like, "Wow, those are some classy looking horses."
I pick a Flavian Pratt horse, and he's like, "Oh, it's like, are you sure?" It's like, geez.
Let me tell you about this Lacey Gaudet horse that won't race the
with Manny Franco aboard. Turf God, Manny Franco. Goodness gracious.
The sire hasn't won since Pat Day was riding horses.
Laurel is just, I mean, let's be honest, Laurel is just a warm-up track for the big shippers to come into Belmont and take all the purses. So, Saturday saying get the shake-up guy on here. Yeah, PDT asking when we can get Papo aboard. We were going to get Papo aboard for some Turfway. It just didn't work out with the timing, but I'll reach out to him.
Yeah, he gets
think,
he gets on from time to time. He'll hop in chat for a bit. So I'm sure he would be up for playing around some night. So he's a good guy.
So
he would not pick a Lacey Gaudette horse from fucking Maryland either.
he would if she was running on the bias.
Right, but only if he had the bias. He'd have the bias. Mark doesn't have the bias. He's just like, you know what? Laurel might have been the slow track that day.
Oh, look.
I mean, we all know that that Papo is much smarter than all three of us combined. So
Yeah.
Low bar that is.
He's also balder than all of us. So
no, he's not.
that.
I mean, I'm pretty goddamn.
I think he's balder than you. I've seen him in person.
He just
that
shaves.
head
I
is
just
shiny.
trim. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is shiny.
Mm.
You know what? PDT has points. He's got a good point there. Do you have any hearts on this next race, Josh?
No, but I do have some cherries.
Hell yes.
There's definitely cherries in this race. I know Josh's horse in here already.
Oddly enough, I did not take the 1, but I did take a speed horse in this race. I did take a speed horse in this race.
Luis says that horse is going to be so loose in this race. How are you not all over this one?
So I looked at this race and I saw 2 real big names in highly motivated and Stage Raider in here. Obviously, Stage Raider, the half to Justify, and highly motivated was on the Derby Trail last year. Kind of came back and ran. Ran okay. Didn't win last race, but cutting back to a mile off that, and I kind of looked a different direction. But Brian, since you always go last, why don't you go first here? What did you like here?
My papa used to tell me, if you ain't last, you're first. Yes, I said it that way. I'm going to take Chad. I appreciate you letting me go first. Just take both of Mark's horses. Mark's going to single the 2, and he's going to use the 9 defensively. So shout out, Mark. I want to back highly motivated. I actually like the move to Flavien Prat here with the cheap speed drawn inside. I think Flavien has some options in how he approaches this race. It's one of those things where this is a 4-year-old horse who hasn't won almost as long as that Lacey Gaudette horse. I was like a year and a half, 2 years since this horse has won. Yeah, he was on the Derby Trail, has the back class. It's a much easier spot than this horse was used to last year, but it's going to take a ton of money. And then on the flip side, Chad's barn's like 40%. He's a pretty good trainer. Didn't seem too interested at Keeneland, but it's just one of those horses you have to take because you don't want to lose. Maybe you have to use it defensively. Shout out, Mark. But, I think I like Stage Raider more than the 2 here. I think Stage Raider would be my top pick, only because I think Stage Raider might have higher upside. We haven't seen as much out of Stage Raider, a little bit lightlier raced. And, I think if the 1 is the cheap speed and pushes a pace, if Pratt's too close, if Market Alert with Jose, runs forward or semi-forward and pushes the pace, Irad might get a perfect trip there. And let's be honest, I think Jose owes Irad from a couple weeks ago. So, it behooves him to go crazy. I like a price too, but we'll see what Mark likes about the 2 and the 9.
Yeah, so the 2 and the 9 will be on none of my tickets. I realize our good friend Mr. Caleb Knight is not here tonight, so somebody has to take up the mantle, and I can't take up the pretty mantle, but I can take up the picking out fake Chad mantles. And these 2 are both very, very, very fake Chads. You have in here, you have highly motivated who was supposed to win that last race, and he was supposed to win it for fun. They bet him off the board, and he just didn't look like he wanted to be involved in that race. Chad horses don't normally need one, and so I just think he's done racing. I think it's just there's nothing there, and I don't think that he wants to do this again. And I realize you're getting Flavien, and you're getting, and there's a good argument to be made that, Flavien is riding all the A plus tier Chads. But this isn't a softer field than the last outfield. And what makes you think that he's going to be better here today? He just looked flat in the lane. He went up $1.40. He was supposed to win that last race, and he just showed nothing. And I just want no part of him. And I think that everybody's going, oh, well, if you don't like that Chad, you have to go pick the other Chad, which is Stage Raider. And again, this is a horse that has been beaten around at this level. He was supposed to win the Keeneland race, and he was supposed to win the Gulfstream race before that. And he just doesn't quite seem to get it done. So I want to go someplace else, and I want to go to, a couple of fresh faces. And the two that I landed on here were the 6 Kershaw and the 7 Captain Bombastic. On paper, they are equally as fast to any of the big name fake Chads in this race. Kershaw is a horse that likes to win, and I mean, he's 8 for 32 lifetime. Guy gets this distance. He makes a lot of sense. He does need a bit of a pace setup in front of him. I think he sort of gets it in this race. And, he's a decent horse. And I think those Oaklawn races have come back okay. And the other horse I thought was pretty interesting was Captain Bombastic. He's really a horse that likes that really likes Belmont. He's a horse that can be really forwardly placed. T-Mac gets off, Joel gets up, which I don't think is a bad thing going for Asmussen, and seems to be a horse that makes a lot of sense here as well. And I thought I would much rather take an 8-1 or a 10-1 that I think has equal chance of winning to the Chads that are going to go off at 7-5 and 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you here on Captain Bombastic. I think the form kind of got away from Captain Bombastic there at Aqueduct, but has fired really well fresh. Won that stakes race back at Laurel fresh at 10-1 odds. So not like he was supposed to win that race. Came back and ran well. Kind of fired another nice race there at Belmont, and then kind of started tailing off there at the end of the year and beginning of this year, and coming back fresh again. And I think that, I don't know, this might just be a horse that needs to fire fresh. I mean, even that Aqueduct race 2 back, I thought was pretty decent, at least on a Brisnet Brisnet figure. And if you kind of look at it, you got the old Steve Asmussen bullet work followed by a kind of slower, easy work here coming in off the layoff. So I don't know. I think Steve's going to have this one fresh. And I know they have him listed as an E6 here, but I think that this is more of a EP type. I think more of a versatile type here. So I really liked Captain Bombastic. The other horse I liked after just completely trashing Manny Franco's character is the 5, 2 Boss. And I kind of like 2 Boss coming in here as kind of a newer face compared to some of these other horses that we kind of have seen a couple times that have big names, or going to take a bit of money just on name alone. And what I like about this is you kind of just got this upward trajectory here where it looks like the horse has just been kind of getting better and improving. And now as a mature 4-year-old, if this horse kind of pairs what he did back at Aqueduct, I think that this horse makes a ton of sense. Horses that P type is going to want to sit just off the pace, and I think there could be a bit of pace in here, and I think this might set up nicely here for a horse like 2 Boss. I mean, Todd Pletcher, is obviously an amazing trainer. I mean, Manny Franco is definitely a jockey. He has definitely ridden horses. He's adequate, I guess, maybe sometimes. But yeah, I don't know. I just kind of liked that this horse kind of seemed like an improving type, and it was just kind of like an alternative to the 2 short prices here. Yeah, I see PDT liking Captain Bombastic as well. So,
well, it wouldn't be us if we don't talk about every horse in a race. So don't skip the 8. Let's talk about Hammer and Aimer while we're at it. If we're going to talk
Amar.
I like
no,
Aimer,
it's Hammer and Hammer.
I like Hammer.
At least that's
Aimer.
how good old Johnny I pronounces it.
Right. That it sounds like gamer, but it's aimer. That's how I go with it. But
Amira says Amar, so I trust her. But
I don't trust your pronunciation of anything. We know this.
this is true.
I mean,
you have a point. No, you have a point.
Thank you. I mean, you did say two boss when it's actually two boss. There's no
Aren't
difference.
those the same? There's no difference, right?
That was the point. Anyway, Josh just said there's speed in this race. Hammer and Aimer is a Belmont horse. First out for Linda Rice. Jose Lascano. She obviously had him ready. She had him entered in 2 weeks ago on a turf race as MTO, did not get in. And, if there's the pace there, Market Alert looks to fade. Sibyllis looks to be cheap speed. If the fake Chad highly motivated can't finish, there's a lot of ifs there. But this horse is going to be well placed, and Linda's going to have this guy ready to run. So, 12-1 in the morning line here. If you don't like the Chads and you're going to say, okay, I want a closer or a late runner as a backup here, I think you cannot skip this horse for Linda Rice.
Yeah, if you like a hard knock and trier, a horse that brings his A effort every single freaking time. He's been knocking around New York forever. This 8-year-old is just a really cool horse, and brings his A game, and just as honest as they come. He's a cool horse.
Yeah, Road Warrior definitely likes Hammer and Amber here. Definitely be playing this horse to win and in DDs. Nick Feldman likes Stage Raider, but he says the next picks after Stage Raider would be Market Alert. The 4 horse here for Jimmy Ryerson. He'll take Jose on the horse. He assumes he's on the lead. Second time winner at Belmont and 1-for-1 at the distance.
Yeah, I just don't see him getting the lead. That's my thing. I think the 1 and the 7 are a lot faster than the 4 is naturally. Maybe Jose goes full send. That could be a thing, but Vargas is a fairly aggressive jock, so I don't think that it's a jock intent kind of a thing. Maybe he goes full send and they try to steal it on the front end, but going a mile at Belmont, I don't know if I love that. If they're going 6, sure, but not at a mile.
See, I kind of thought that they were going to draw into a normal optional claimer 62, and then they got this field.
Yeah, this is a very tough optional 62. This is like a black type kind of field. Yeah. Sorry, Brian, I didn't mean to cut you off. Just very much agree with you. This is not. These tend to be a lot softer than this is.
All right, why don't we take a look here at the Canterbury race? They are walking onto the track here. We're going to be going 5 furlongs here on the turf. And it looks like right now your favorite is the 1 Lady Gold start for Lindy Wade riding there. Mark, where did you kind of end up here?
I ended up on both the 3 and the 8. Again though, my Canterbury take is probably not as good as others. It's not a track that I play a ton of. Just thought those were sort of the interesting horses in here. Higher percentage jockey connections and horses that I thought would be viable plays. I think the 3 was off the claim, so I don't have the form pulled up on my own. So those were where I landed. Again though, this was a race that I could have been really deep on, so I tried to pick the 2 most likely or ones I like the best.
Yeah, I think you and I kind of lined up here on the 8. I also like the 8-5 picks, please. And this is kind of like I said, same thing. You kind of toss the dirt tries, although the horse had run well on the dirt, just hadn't won much. But you look at the turf tries, and used to ride West Coast turf, and Diodoro took it to Turf Paradise, and it looks like just some of the better races that this horse has run have been on turf. So I was definitely interested in this 8. I also had the 1 and the 7 here. The 7, Lovin' Bullies. I just thought, hey, just in case this thing kind of falls apart, this horse has come from off the pace at 5.5 here at Fairgrounds. Which tends to, be, I think, a slightly better caliber of racing than Canterbury. Not much. I mean, the Louisiana bred stuff is probably about the same, if not a little bit better than the Minnesota bred. But the open race is definitely down there a little bit better. But yeah, I was really interested in this 7 here, Lovin' Bullies. Cecilia Evans is 2 for 2 riding up here, and McLean Robertson is winning at 50%, which is just something absolutely nuts. And then obviously, I also did use what was the favorite, but looks like the 8 is the favorite now. The 1 Lady Gold Start, and it's kind of the same thing. I think this horse is just a different horse on the turf. They obviously thought something of this horse on the turf. They ran it at Kentucky Downs, and at the end of the year last year, came back and ran at Canterbury on the turf and won a nice little race there. So,
How many horses have ever made the Kentucky Downs to Canterbury transition? That does not seem like a common one.
well, there was Keeneland in the middle at least, but
Okay.
Tony Rengstorff is a pretty good trainer up here in at Canterbury. So I thought that made a bit of sense.
I mean, the horses can Kentucky Downs and Keeneland form can 100% be correlated back to the jockey.
So I think the only horse that we kind of didn't have in common anywhere was this 5, Brian. It looks like the 5 Harking. What did you like about this 5 here?
Hell, if I remember, man, that was like forever ago. No, I thought the 5 could, I thought that my top pick here was the 3. The 5, I just want to be covered to a little bit. The Turf Paradise. I can't even say it with a straight face. This is almost as bad as Mark's Laurel form, but the horse looked pretty good at Turf Paradise when it ran for a pack of Newports and a Miller Lite, 2 back. So it's one of those things where the horse could take to Canterbury and do okay. Was that in 2001 in June at Canterbury at 5 furlongs. The horse ran well, got a fourth place finish, but the figures came back pretty good. So I think we're going to be close, but it's just one of those horses that in the pick 5, I wanted to be covered to. I don't think I'd win bet this 5. I think at the prices we're seeing on the board right now, I think the 7 is a good price for a win bet. And I even like the 3 here at 4 to 1. Well, if the 3 keeps going down, then I don't like the 3 as a win bet. I just win bet the 7 here at 7 to 1 and hope for the best.
Yeah, this 7's not taking any money. And I know you and I both liked it. So obviously the horse Mark liked all of a sudden is 8 to 5. So I don't know if that was Mark or if that's just.
Oh no, trust me, I'm not pushing that kind of money around here. I have no feel for this track. So,
yeah. So
Nick Feldman, who are you singling here so I can win a bet? I hope he's still watching.
Seriously, who's Nick Feldman on here?
Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see Nick's thoughts on this one because. Oh, did he post a ticket? Yeah, he's got 1378 here.
So this freaking win. Cool.
So he's basically got all the horses we talked about minus the 5. So Nick's got some good on the wrong lead coverage. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Only time will tell.
For the record, when I looked at the 5, I thought the trainer was Woolery. I totally thought Chuck Woolery from the game shows.
The game shows?
Yeah. It's just Benny though, so.
Oh, it's so funny. All right, we got a minute here, and then we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at the Grade 3 Soaring Softly here at Belmont. We got a nice field here. Mark was super excited to talk about this race. He thought it was very interesting. I hope he's got some very good opinions because I kind of looked at this race and was confused. So hopefully Mark will help straighten me out here. But
well, obviously we're waiting on Canterbury. This race is just such a good betting race. This is one of those, I realize it's not really a turf sprint because they are going 7, but sprintier turf races, big competitive fields, just a really cool betting race. And yeah, I do have some opinions in here that are a little spicy.
That's kind of a weird distance, isn't it? 7 furlongs at Belmont.
Yeah, 7 furlongs is not a common NYRA distance, just because of how it sets up track-wise. And they do run it a bit at Belmont, but you sort of have that on their outer turf course. There's still a little bit of a kink going in that first corner. So the inside, like the one post, oftentimes has a little bit of a, that sort of Kentucky Derby thing where they get kind of a weird entry. But It's a bit of an odd distance. It's not super common. Mile on the turf is much more common out of the chute. Or a mile and a 16th or a mile and an 8th. They can run all of them on the multiple chutes on the widener turf, which is quite the word.
Mr. Bombastic, very fantastic.
Oh man.
So it's going to be, can I actually get a race right at Canterbury? I'm betting no.
So with that being said, I believe I'm going to win bet Tequila Mary and In the Red, just because that's the only two horses we didn't talk about.
Yeah, and Ruben Fuentes at 25-1.
Kind of what I'm thinking here.
I mean, worse wagers have been placed.
Yes, so far everything from On the Wrong Lead before we got on for this pick 3.
Yeah. Those would all be worse wagers. They were. We clearly know nothing.
I feel like this has been a very long minute, and it's like they're doing the Gulfstream Park drag of 2019.
Oh, they're on the turf course.
Road Warrior is giving me a compliment, and I'm not sure what smart thing I said that he was giving me a compliment for, because I haven't said anything smart all evening.
I think it's the 7 furlongs ramble you had.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because the Breeders' Cup runs 5.5 for a mile, and there's nothing in between. Yeah, that would be a very valid thing. Okay.
Oh, I'm a little tired, fellas.
It's been a long week, man.
Dude, it's been a week and a half.
I know. I obviously last week was a super long week for me with everything with my dad, but like coming back from work, like it's just been exhausting. I went to bed last night at like 10 in the morning, at 10 in the afternoon or at night, and I didn't wake up till like 8:15. So I just was like, I was out like a light last night.
It's how I kind of feel right now. My eyes are just like, yeah, I'm done. Too many circles and squares over here.
Man, they are off.
And look at that. The Diodoro horse shot out.
Shout out, went full Sendy with this Dio horse.
And I mean, if the first turf race was any indication, I think speed might be good.
So that was not Carlo Lopez. That was Paco Lopez on the 8. I see that now.
Yeah. I mean, so all Lopez's ride the same? He is water skiing this 8 right now.
Where's the 7? Oh, the 7's still coming from the back.
So this 8 is 100% head case.
Whoa! Yep,
yeah, that's kind of what I yep.
All right, well, now I need this 1 to hang on.
Wow.
Oh, my God, this 5 coming off the rail.
Not going to get there.
Wow.
Ooh, Dio might have gone a little too much on the old...
the Suzzle.
So just in case anybody's wondering, anything more than a gram of Deca a week is bad.
Wait, only a gram of Deca?
Yeah.
I did kind of... It was interesting that you're like, wow, that 8's a head case. And then right as you said that, you dumped a jock. So I don't know if you...
The 8 was fighting the jock the whole way around. You could watch the horse just... Jock trying to get the horse settled and wasn't comfortable, and the horse decided to part ways with his rider.
But the interesting thing is also in this part of the turn where they face the grandstand. So something spooked that horse horribly in the turn.
The horse stepped out though.
Oh, Jay said he singled the 8. He wants us to start the show again. So. Happy okay, I can't do it again. But man.
So we're on to cap the late double now.
Just late double. Oh man, I don't know if I'm gonna make it through late double.
The sequence keeps getting smaller and smaller.
Oh man.
Yeah,
That eight
I-
kind of floated back up in price too. The one kind of went down.
I will tell. I know Nick Feldman was mentioning, and a couple other people sort of talked about it. The 8 was up and running. I think the horse was fine. The jockey was able to sort of. He obviously the horse took a sideways step while he was planning on the horse going forward. So the jock sort of did the jockey slide thing, and he slid to the outside. It's not like he got trampled or anything. So I think everybody's okay. But obviously it's always a scary incident when that kind of thing happens.
The worst part of the electric slide is the cha-cha real smooth. It usually messes up a lot of people at the weddings. It's that sidestep.
Yeah. It's a sidestep, gets everybody.
Yeah, it looks like our friend of the stream, Clark, he's going to be really depressed because he had that 8. And he says if he fours a 5 of this, it's going to be so depressing. So
I will agree with Nick Feldman. It's one of those situations where that kind of happens where you're like, the first thing you worry about is everybody involved, and then you're like, oh crap, I'm dead and everything now. You sort of,
yeah.
but you're it's one of those deals. You're okay being dead and everything because everybody's okay. Like that's the. I get that.
I mean, no,
you're
you're not okay being dead.
Well, you're
just
not
'cause
really
everyone's
100% okay, but
yeah.
You'd rather be dead and everything and then have everybody be okay than to be the other way around, right?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Almost time for Evangeline Downs. Don't mind if I do.
Oh, Evangeline.
So I do want to bring something up because I had a lot of driving yesterday. I had to go to Milwaukee and come back. So I was in the car for about 4 hours yesterday. So I don't listen to I don't commute to work anymore, really. So I don't really listen to podcasts as much as I used to. So I was kind of catching up on podcasts. I was listening to Jason Beam, and he had Gino Piccola on. And Gino was really, really pumping Louisiana Downs. So have any of you guys seen any of the Louisiana Downs stuff lately? I guess they're under new ownership.
They are under new ownership. They had a mandatory payout this past weekend, and they have camel racing coming up this weekend.
So interestingly, I guess they used to have jackpot pick 5.
That they did.
And maybe a jackpot pick 4. But I know it's definitely a jackpot pick 5. And I guess people complained, and management within 2 weeks changed both the pick 5 and the pick 4 to non-jackpot and lowered the takeout. And I believe both of them.
Oh,
I think they're 15% each. I think they're 15% each now. So I haven't had a chance to catch any of it, but I always love to see tracks do that kind of stuff. I mean, part of the reason why I play Canterbury at all is because of their 10% takeout on the pick 4 and the pick 5. So, they might, and it might not be the biggest pools, but just because it's not a big pool doesn't mean you can't make money. Which is, I know you've had some nice scores at places like Delta, which don't have huge pools. So,
actually, you can make bigger scores at places that don't have big pools because of the fact that the smaller the amount wagered into the pool, the less efficient the pool is. So if you can find 1 or 2 prices in those kind of sequences, you're very prime for a scoop. I mean, I know Brian's track, Horseshoe Indianapolis, is one of those ones that you can be very prone to that kind of thing as well. So those smaller pool places are fun.
Yeah.
So did they say anything about the jock, the 8 on the 8? I don't have the sound on, so I'm not sure.
I don't either. I'm just getting random text about Mo Donegal at Saratoga. Okay.
I went full degen and I switched to Evangeline. They're 1 minute to post, but they're not even out of the paddock yet. So degen that. I just like to watch Evangeline, so that way when EMD for me talks bad about the jockeys, I understand what he's talking about.
At Evangeline?
Oh,
dude, Evangeline's a little bit like Asanobia. It's just one of those tracks that just kind of makes sense, Yep. Like it feels kind of right. Like it's good. Good.
All right,
good to hear, okay.
Jock
Good to
walked
hear.
off. All right. Well, good. I had the 1.
In all fairness, I thought the jock fell off, didn't walk off.
That horse looked like it took a sidestep mid-turn.
Yeah, and I mean, it looked like the horse was still running. It looked like he was all right. So, all right, let's move on.
Jump to shadow is probably with the proper term, but yeah.
All right, talk to me about race 9 here, Mark.
Yeah, so a pretty interesting race, 7 furlong, soaring softly. This is one of those races that I love where you can make a case for literally everybody in here in this race. Darien the 9 was a huge hype horse last year, and so it's sort of the the return of Darien. She ran pretty damn well in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. Oddly campaigned. She ran once at Keeneland in the Limestone, and you're getting her back here. I don't think there's any way you get 7-2 in this race. I would imagine she was going off shorter, but the horse I'm really keen in on, I'm super interested in, is this 2 Breeze Easy, the other Christophe Clement turf horse. You're getting a horse that a lot of people can't do the 18-point conversion. So if you take 18 points off the time form European figures, this horse actually has some pretty damn massive figures. Listed at 10-1 on the morning line, and I think everybody's going, oh, well, Rosario ended up on the other Clement, so that must be the live Clement. If you look at the stats, Javier Castellano for Christophe Clement, this meet so far is 29% with a $5.94 ROI. If you look at the past year, he's 17% with a $2.03 ROI. So Javier Castellano is kind of known as being a really good turf sprint, and I'm calling this a sprint at 7 furlongs. It's really that halfway between a sprint and a mid-distance race, whatever you want to call it. I thought this 2 Breeze Easy was super, super interesting. Ran versus, kind of the deep end of the pool as well in Europe. It had been at York, at Leopardstown, and they shipped this one over to St. Cloud for the Prix Herod, which was a pretty decent effort. So, not as good as the best there. Mr. Fancy is actually, and Tribalist are both thought of as being really good horses, and super heavy, surface that day. Comes to the States, and I think this one is just super well met. You're getting 10-1 on really killer connections all the way around, and I really like Breeze Easy a lot here.
Huh.
Brian, what did you like?
I tried to make an argument for T loves a fight, and I realized that Snow loves a fight.
So I did kind of like that horse.
I wanted to make an argument there, but this is an odd step up from maiden special weight, after breaking the maiden there. So, and then you lose Ortiz, you get McCarthy there. But, I think the winner is going to come out of the 8 and 9 hole. I'll probably only be with those 2 there. I kind of saw the race with the 11 setting the pace, and the 2, the 3, and a few others behind there. But, watching you whip and watch me dairy Nene, that's all I need. I think that horse is, I don't want to say tons the best, but on paper the horse has the class and has the run style that fits here. So most of it will go through dairy Nene. I do think Haughty is very interesting. Was also in a Breeders' Cup Juvenile, and didn't do as well, and I thought it was interesting from that point. Comes back now, and we have a new jockey aboard, obviously. Yeah, 200. What?
I was just going to ask. Not sorry if I cut you off, Brian. I didn't mean to. Do you, given the pedigree on Haughty, do you really think this horse wants the cutback?
I don't know. I'm not looking at pedigree.
Empire Maker over King Mambo. To me, that screams turf miler. Mile and 16th. Is this a little sharp? I realize you're getting Pratt Brown, which is a 43% connection right now at Belmont. I get it. They're winning everything not tied down, but this horse is going to take all that. This horse is going to be even money or something stupid when it goes off. And is this a little sharp?
Yeah, it could be, right. I mean, if you figure, I guess it depends how you handicap the race. If you say the 11 Eureka is the quote unquote cheaperish speed here, if you're not sure about, Lost My Socks and how Dylan Davis handles that ride, can Haughty make their own trip here with her. You know, your biggest threat here is Derry Nene coming, you know, in the turn, right? I mean, Joel's going to be coming with that horse. This is another one where can Pratt's riding style dictate a winner here on a horse that may not be bred for 7 furlongs? And do I think Haughty's a better horse than the 11 or the 3 or maybe the 4? I do. So with that being said, I think, you know, the 8 can outlast those 3 up front and might be able to set its own kind of fractions and be there and then dig in and beat Derry Nene. That's my
Okay.
thought process there.
So I'm gonna throw this back to Josh because I know he hasn't talked yet, and Brian and I beat this race to death. Josh, you're the pace guru here. What do you think the pace actually looks like in this race? Because I'm super freaking confused in how this pace scenario sets up.
I don't see much of a pace presence here. I honestly that kind of makes me really interested in Derry Nane here, because you get the sprinter stretching out. I think that this horse is going to be, you know, forwardly placed. You know, I know it's Joel Rosario, and you know he has a tendency to be pretty passive, but I just think that this horse has got a bit of is going to have a bit of natural speed just coming from all those turf sprints. I mean, this horse was, you know, broke its maiden being a length and a half off the lead, and you know is still sitting, you know, 4.5 or so off. But I definitely see Derry Nane being part of the, you know, kind of first pack, I think, in this race. So I was pretty interested in Derry Nane. I kind of had it as a lone A. The other horse I was interested in obviously is Haughty, but like I don't know, I don't think you can take the 2 short prices in this race. And there just really wasn't anybody else I was like super interested in. I mean, Wish You Well, the 4 could be part of the pace presence, but you have American Freedom, who's yet, I think, to have a turf winner. And I mean, you do have a little bit of turf pedigree in the bottom, but I mean, I'm not super keen on taking a first time turf horse here, in a stakes race. So I don't know. I'm pretty comfortable taking Derry Nane here at 7-2. We'll see what kind of price we get. Haughty's obviously 5-2 on the line. It's probably going to be your favorite. But
Nobody's going to talk about Charity Party.
I was wondering if somebody was going to talk about Charity Party.
I'm waiting for somebody to go there. So
no, I honestly, I looked, but I mean, Wesley Ward. I mean, I get this is kind of this is still, you know, 7 furlongs, it's a long sprint. I don't know. I didn't have a huge confidence in Wesley stretching this horse out. But I don't know. You either you guys like this horse?
If you look at the last race on debut, the horse was slow out of the gate from 5.5 furlongs and still blew through that field. It wasn't a very deep field, you know, for 100,000 maiden special weight at Keeneland. I don't think there's been anybody that's come back and looked that great. So yet it's still only been a month. You know, it's interesting though, because with that slow out of the gate, I think the horse would improve in second time ask, just because it should break better. Granted, I haven't looked at workouts. You know, have they gotten in the gate? You know, the horse ran. It's only been a month, so I'm going to guess there hasn't been too much going on here. And no, it looks like they got out in Belmont. They got out twice. They did 6 furlongs and 5 furlongs, so nothing crazy there. No, I don't see any gate work. So.
Yeah, my only thing was if you watch the stretch run out of Charity Party, the horse was super green, like super green. So this is a horse that maybe the experience moves this one forward. This horse is, you know, one of those Wes Wards that takes that big step forward second time out. You know, I mean, Wes is known for this type of horse, right? Like this is his thing. These turf sprinters, he's really good with these. So it's a horse that if it gets lost on the board, I don't love the draw specifically at 7 furlongs. There's I think enough. There's not a ton of like speed here, but I don't know how Rad gets a trip where he's not 3 wide here. I just don't see it. So interesting horse. It's more of a B type for me. I want some coverage, but it's not a horse that. Again, I will be fairly deep in this race, but it's a horse that I want some coverage to. But I'm not as excited as I am to others here.
I just look back at that race. I mean, Georgetown Road might be the best horse coming out of there, and that's a horse they can't win at Fairgrounds. So yeah,
You just think the race is crap, then? No, I mean, which I respect.
I do. I mean, if you look at, just as you guys know, I've been using optics a lot. If you look at the grade for that race, and they had that race is like a 69 for the Fig, and Charty Party came back with a 92. So that horse was for the race rating. It was just a garbage race.
And Road Warrior talking about sail by in that race.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to find the horse. That's what I was trying to do because I see
that horse I thought was super, super interesting in there as well. I have that horse as a B. That's one of the sort of I'm 6 deep in here, and that is one of my B's in there. I thought the horse was absolutely super interesting. Figs aren't that much too slow to be a player in here, and a horse that is coming out of a race that same Breeders' Cup Juvenile Filly and Turf, that mile race where Pizza Bianchi won, and just the horse probably needed one. Comes back in that Aqueduct race, didn't run terrible, but had some legitimate excuses in there. And you're getting one that you can get a decent trip with Lascano, staying aboard here. One that makes a lot of sense. You're probably going to get double that. You're going to be 20 or 25 to 1. Yeah, I think that's a super interesting horse if this stays on the turf and this field stays pretty packed.
I find it interesting you said that horse was in the same race as Haughty. I'm looking at the running lines, and I see Haughty ran the 8th race, and by the time Sail By finished, the 9th race had started.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong. Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure that we're all clear.
No. It was the same race, but they were in different, zip codes. I don't disagree with that. But I think if that Miss Grillo was a really good race. The PG Johnson was a darn good effort. I think that horse would be even more interesting if the PG Johnsons had stayed on turf last year. And honestly, that last Aqueduct, tune-up race for this wasn't a bad race. So no, I think this is a fairly interesting horse here.
What do you think of Pizza Bianca? Because if you love Pizza Bianca, you're going to move up both Sail By and Haughty here, aren't you?
My hard thing is I don't love Pizza Bianca, but that's more due to the connections of that horse than it is to the horse itself. The horse has done nothing wrong. She's been really freaking good. She was super, super impressive in a pretty stacked race a week or two ago. So, you got to kind of like her, right? Like until she's done something where you go, until she does something wrong, she's a really good horse. And I think you kind of have to move up horses that have been competitive with her.
Jimmy Two Eyes asking what type of price you did on the ward.
Just because it's a maiden first time versus winners, I probably need 6 to 1 there to be win bettable. Bri, what are you thinking?
I don't think you're going to see it.
That's not the question though, right?
Yeah. What would I need in this field? I think I don't have the races wide open as you guys do. I've got the 8, 9 well above the rest of the field, so it wouldn't surprise me if the 12s, if you get 9 to 2, 4 to 1, is it fair? Probably not, but I hate the rest of the field outside the 8 and the 9.
Okay.
Yeah, I think 5 to 6 to 1 is what I would need, and I mean, like 5 to 6 to 1 like feels fair, sounds fair, but I don't know if I would still.
Yeah, you're not gonna get super excited to fire at those prices.
Yeah, like
right?
the only way I'm excited of that is if like Dairy Nane is like, I don't know, even money. Then the 5 or 6 to 1 looks more interesting on the 12. But if you're playing it horizontally, like I don't know.
I think that's why I got so geeked up about this race is the fact that Dairy Nane, I assumed when I looked at this race, first pass I looked at without morning lines, and I'm like, oh, Dairy Nane's going to be in here at even money. And then I flipped the lines. I'm like, oh, they've Darien at 7-2 and not even the favorite. And I just was, instantly when I see that kind of thing, I go, oh, there's a ton of value to be had here, with Haughty, all the Chad Brown connections and everything else, taking a ton of money, and there's a ton of value here. And again, you don't always exploit that value, but when you can, you get paid.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's gonna be tough, I think, to get there. But let's try and cap this last race here real quick. Watch this this 8th race at Canterbury, and then I think that'll be it for us. Even though I think hopefully we'll still be live in the pick 4, but we got another turf race here. We got 6 furlong sprint on the inner turf. You got a full field of 12. Your morning line favorite here looks to be the 8 Sharp Sensation at 3-1. I actually do like this horse, Sharp Sensation at 3-1. Broke its maiden, obviously last out Aqueduct at 6 furlongs. Now coming here. Well, finished second. Yeah, this is a maiden race. Finished second. Sorry,
Cheater.
And is going to come run back at the same condition, same distance. Joe Sharp is definitely not one who is not used to running maiden races multiple times after winning them.
Where did that horse ever go?
Blackberry Wine? I don't know.
Where's Blackberry Wine?
Whatever happened to Blackberry Wine? He broke his maiden like 3 or 4 times.
Like 3 times? Was it 3 times he broke his maiden? Yeah.
God.
Stupid dewormer.
Sharp Sensation. Obviously makes a lot of sense here as one at this condition, whether unfairly or not. Actually, the horse I'm most interested in, I think, might be this 12 Tonalistic. Is going to be posted out in the parking lot, so might need a scratch or two just to get a little bit further on the inside. Tonalist, not really a huge turf influence, but Lemon Drop Kid on the bottom definitely is. This horse has kind of just been improving. First time turf, ran into a bunch of problems, bumped at the brake, checked, and had to go pretty wide. Now, not necessarily thinking that Tonalistic is not going to have a wide trip here, but I think with a cleaner brake, gets a little bit more forwardly placed, gets Jose Ortiz aboard. There's a lot of things to like here, I think, for Tonalistic second time on the turf. 6-1 seems to be a fair price. So I'm going to go 8-12 here. And sorry, Mark, I know I might have stolen your thunder because I know the owners of the 12 are near and dear to your heart. But I don't know. Brian, who did you like in this spot?
Thank you for not going to Mark. No, he said Brian. He said Brian.
I'm putting it up for you. Read the screen. I put it up for you.
Yes, see? I like the 6. Tom Morley's 38%, second time on the grass. This horse ran really well on debut. Comes back 2 weeks later, looks to take a step forward second time out. Eric Cancel, he'll be fine in this spot. I don't think this race is that sharp, that tough. I see what you like about the 8, Josh. I think the 8 made a lot of sense, but I'm going to talk to one horse just because I think that I cannot ignore the 4 Eminency. I could care less about Flavian Pratt. I think the horse could get out there inside drawn, on the 8. Could be a interesting little ride. I don't mind the fact that the 4 has not been on turf ever. Should be okay. You look at the pedigree there, and the pedigree's okay for turf. Was it 11% turf on the dam side, so not crazy, but they're trying something here. Big move from Gomez to Pratt here. 4-1's probably a little short in this spot because I do like the 6 so much, but as a second choice, I think 6 and 4 will be the 2 horses I go through.
Yeah, Brian's grabbing a dropper, and I'm grabbing the other dropper, which is the 1. Obviously, the Joe Sharp horse makes a ton of sense. The horse doesn't, surprise me at all. I thought this 1 horse was actually super, super interesting. First time gelding, blinks go on, getting a ton of class relief. This horse is top and bottom turf pedigree. Last 2 have been on dirt. tons of excuses. 3 to 4 wide in the turn and 6 wide into the lane in the first turf start. You can completely toss those last 2 starts because this horse just had absolutely no chance. And Hector Bruno Mars is whatever.
Do you say Bruno Mars?
I think I just did. My God, how did that come out of my mouth? I don't know.
I heard Bruno Mars.
Josh, can you properly say the jockey's name,
Well,
please?
Moreno Hernandez.
Yeah, there we go. Cool.
Bruno,
But
Bruno
doesn't he have a middle name like
Yeah, I think
Hernandez?
I think he just goes by Omar Hernandez, doesn't he?
Did you just go by Omar Hernandez? Okay,
I think
cool.
so.
Thank you.
I forget. I don't. I know he's like he's the bug boy, but I forget if it's Moreno or if he goes by Omar.
So you're getting the bug jock up. This horse is going to probably be sent from the rail for a owner breeder trainer combo here. And Lukovic is pretty notorious for getting some stupid prices home. And most of them are send jobs. So I thought this horse at a big price was super, super, super interesting. And Bruno
Actually,
Mars
it's
first time. Yeah.
No, it's Omar Moreno, isn't it? Isn't Moreno his last name? I think it's Omar Moreno.
Josh, this is why I asked you, Josh.
Dude, I don't know. I tuned out of Aqueduct like after the turf stopped, and then I never got back into it. I just barely started playing again. But
No, it's okay. It's Bruno Mars.
Hector Bruno Mars.
I think oh hell. Never mind.
Oh my God.
Alan Thicke. Robin Thicke's on the 3.
Josh, we keep you around for when Brian and I get horribly racially insensitive, basically on the 1, and you failed us. You just failed us, Josh.
No, for the record, I had to type in a bunch of names from one of our facilities overseas, and that's how they sent them to me. And I had to guess what the first name was on 27 people.
At least they don't have 4 names. The 4 names kill me, man. I'm like, okay, I don't know. It's terrible. The 4 names kill me.
Yeah, it's Omar Hernandez Moreno.
Okay. So the bug's up with all the weight. They're going to send. We're going 6 furlongs on turf. I think this horse, the horse is getting a drop. I think this horse is actually super interesting. There's a price. If the horse takes money, no. But if you're talking a horse that 10, 12 to 1 is super interesting.
Hey, did anybody look at the 10? I know we're getting close to Canterbury here, but I thought from a dropper standpoint, coming out of West Point's barn and Asmussen to Brocklebank, Joel's aboard. I thought it was a very interesting spot. I don't know what this horse is going to do though.
The pedigrees there are top and bottom, but who is the trainer?
Joseph Brocklebank.
Who again?
I think he runs it. Yes.
Does he run at the Parks? Maybe the Parks.
He's got He's got 5 starts on the year.
Right. It's a small barn.
Very small barn that gets Joe Rosario up. I mean, normally I am Captain Well Meant, but I had a hard time getting here.
So everyone make sure the 10 is on all your tickets. It looks like we got 0 minutes to post here to race 8. It's going to be the last race at Canterbury.
Road Warrior. Okay, Brocklebank is the Maselli sub-in. Oh, okay, so that's a Maselli horse.
That makes sense.
Road Warrior just threw it up. Now it makes sense. That's why Rosario's up. Okay, so that horse is super live.
So here we go, race 8. Right now the favorite is the 5 Sundance Star at 5-2. Who do I have?
Hey, Road Warrior, is Brocklebank the assistant trainer for Maselli? That's what I'm assuming then.
Well, that makes the most sense.
Road Warrior knows these things, and
my chat's not refreshing, so I'm not seeing any of this.
Maselli suspended for a month.
Yeah, Maselli got a suspension. So
gotcha.
That suddenly just made a ton of sense. Put 1 and 2 together. I'm a little okay. I'm not a little. I'm a lot slow.
Can we talk about race 8 now?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. I was making sure you're done.
Well, where's your supposed? So this is when you start capping normally.
So the 2 and the 5 here at 5-2. I got the 2, the 3, and the 6 here. So Amazing Lace. Let's see if we go back up. Amazing Lace was the morning line favorite at 2-1. Gets into Chris Richards' barn here. 20% first start with trainer. Gets Luis Fuentes aboard, who's obviously started the meet off really well. Yeah, I mean, I think that this horse is dropping from the optional claiming into claimer, but is dropping into open claimer from state bred. Archie bred, so probably not really a drop, probably staying the same in class, but I like this two. I think this two's race two back wins this race pretty easy. Winning mandate, not taking any money here. The 3 I thought was going to be part of the pace here for Jermaine Bridgman. Went wire to wire, got put up from disqualification last time out. The 6 later days, I think, might also be pace. But Mark, who do you have here?
I ended up
They're off.
on
They're off.
2, 3, and 6.
Oh, so you and I have the same horse. Okay.
Yep.
And then Brian.
Not that has worked for us all night or anything. But.
No, Brian, you got the 2 and the 5 here. So we all like this too. As this 1 gets the lead.
I mean, I have nothing going here, so the 3 should win.
I hope the 3 wins because I'm still alive in the pick 4 here.
The 3's not winning.
I just hope one of my horses wins.
The 6 looks pretty good from here.
Here comes the 6.
Yeah. All right, 6.
He gone.
Okay.
I realized I called it at the top of the stretch. I'm sorry, Josh, if I boom you, but
it's all right because the only horse that's coming,
the only horse that's coming,
I have too. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna be live. I'm gonna be live in this pick 4 for $1 to the 5 and the 6 next race. We'll see what Will pays look like here. But what do you guys got going on this week, Brian? What you doing? Long weekend.
Nothing.
Nice.
I'm gonna play disc golf. I've got a friend that lives nearby. I'm gonna go meet up with him somewhere.
Nice.
No, I don't. I don't have any friends.
we know.
Mark, what do you got?
Probably playing some disc golf as well. Going, I think, hiking Saturday, and I will be playing a little Belmont. Probably also trying to take a look at the Santa Anita Mando that is on Monday. It should be good, but I haven't seen how they've carded things. I really wish we could have covered it tonight, but they suck at carding things. So yeah.
Yeah, I think Santa Anita is going to be the play this weekend, but I just like I said, there wasn't really. I'll probably end up playing Saturday, but I know Saturday I think they're doing state breds, which is just people don't really like talking about. So we'll see what happens there. But the Monday cards look really good. I thought Belmont's Monday I think is probably going to shape up to be pretty nice, but we'll see when entries come out for those. But yeah, I'll probably be around. I know Saturday I also have plans to go play disc golf. So we'll have to figure that out. But yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Oh, Nick Feldman's out. He needed it too.
Oh, sorry, Nick.
Yeah.
Well, you can only win 5 sequences in one day, not 6.
Yeah, after getting the early pick 5 at Churchill, but Brats on Nick Feldman. By the way, there is an OTB in Mokina, Brian.
Yeah, I know it's a Hawthorne one.
Okay, I'm just saying. Depending on what time we get out there.
Well,
but
depending how many discs get lost.
Yeah, that's right.
They assume all.
Have you played that course before, Brian?
Negative.
It's super nice. They actually have like a mini pro shop there too.
Yeah, that's the pop-up one, right? The guy that has the little tent too.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, guys, have a good weekend. Have a happy Memorial weekend. Stay safe out there. Grill a bunch of meats and vegetables, I guess, if that's your thing. And yeah, for everyone else, we'll catch you guys later. And this is not us starting the stream again. This is us ending it, in case anyone was wondering.